everybody and welcome back to Rocco Baby Crochet. I hope you've all had a great week. This week's free pattern, it's another Christmas theme and we're making these gorgeous snowflakes. I've added a hanger onto mine, so I'm going to use them on my Christmas tree. Equally, you can leave that off and use these as coasters and dot them around your home over the Christmas period. And this step-by-step tutorial will show you exactly how to go about that. It's really beginner friendly, really quick, fun little project to do. As always, there's a free written pattern available over on my blog, and there is a link to that popping up for you if you do prefer the written pattern. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy this tutorial and support the channel, and make sure that you never miss out on any of the free up and coming patterns. And finally, please don't forget to come and join us over on Facebook. We've got a fab little group that's building over there. I love having a chat to all of you and seeing what you've been making throughout the week, whether it's one of my patterns or not. It would be great if you joined us over there too. So let's get into what we need to make one of our lovely little snowflakes. So here's what I've used to make my snowflakes. I've gone for the Rico Design Fashion Cotton metalized double knit with a 4mm crochet hook, pair of scissors, some darning needles to weave in our loose ends, and if you feel more confident using a stitch marker, then grab a stitch marker as well. So let's get into making our snowflakes. So to begin, we need to make a magic circle. So you want to take your yarn and hold your loose end of yarn just across your hand like this, and wrap your working yarn around your two fingers, making a letter X, and pull it straight back down. Flip your fingers over and you've got two parallel lines of yarn. Pop your hook under the first one and pull the second one underneath. Twist your hook upwards and catch back onto that second strand of yarn and pull it straight down. And that's how we make our magic circle. So what we want to do is make sure that the loose end to this magic circle is always on the left of us, and when we pull on it, you'll see that that circle gets smaller. So if you pull on it until it's a size that's manageable for you to work around, and we're going to place 6 double crochets into this magic ring. Remember, I use UK terminology, so in the US this would be single crochets, and you want to insert your hook into the magic ring, making sure that you also go underneath that loose end and you crochet around that. Yarn over and pull up a loop, so you'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through them both. So that's 1 and 2. Don't forget to pop your stitch marker in this very first stitch that we've done if you find it a little bit easier when you're coming round to slip stitch into join. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then pull on your loose end of the magic ring, closing it up, and we just want to slip stitch to that very first double crochet that we did. So inserting our hook underneath the top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again, and that's round 1 completed. So for round 2 you want to chain 1, and into every stitch around we're going to be doing a double crochet increase, which means we're going to be placing 2 double crochets into every stitch. So I start here directly underneath where my chain 1 has come out of, so into this stitch here, and I'll place my first 2 there and 2 in every stitch around. So insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. And your total stitch count will be 12 at the end of round 2. So that's 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and my last one, 12. So don't be tempted to put an extra stitch in here. That used to always confuse me when I was learning how to crochet. So we just want to slip stitch to the very first double crochet that we did. So insert your hook underneath that stitch, yarn over, pull through and pull through again. So we've got another increasing round here, so we're going to chain one, and into this first stitch here we're just going to place one double crochet, and into the next stitch along we're going to place two double crochets, and we're going to alternate it all the way around. So one into the next one, two into the next one, so one and two, one into the next one, two into the next one, one, two, one into the next one, two into the next one, one and two, one into this one, two into this one, one and two, one into this one, and finally two into this last one. So you should be finishing round 3 on an increase, and then slip stitch to the very first double crochet of the round just to join, and chain one. So now what we want to do is we're going to do one double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So again, I'm starting directly underneath my chain one, which is here. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and the same into the next one, and the same into the next one. And then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go into the stitch next to it, and then I'm going to do one double crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3, chain 3, 2 and 3, and then double crochet into the next stitch along for the next 3 stitches. So that's 2, there's my third, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then into the next stitch a double crochet and a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 2 and 3, then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, next stitch along, double crochet and a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then a double crochet into the very next stitch and a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then slip stitch it to the very first stitch of this round, which is just here. So insert my hook, yarn over, pull through and pull through again. So moving on to round 5, we want to begin by chaining 1, and instead of working straight underneath where our chain is coming out of, we're going to move along into this next stitch here and place a double crochet into that stitch, and then we're going to skip this next stitch here and we're going to work into this chain space here, and we're going to place 2 treble crochets. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that chain space, pull up a loop, you'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then you're going to place a second treble crochet in there, and then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and 2 more treble crochets into that chain space, 1 and 2. Then we're going to skip this first stitch here and work a double crochet into the second stitch. So skip this one and work into this next one, a double crochet, and then skip this one and work straight into our chain space, again placing 2 trebles, chain 3 and 2 more trebles, 1 and 2. So again, we're going to skip this first stitch here, work into this second one. So we're going to place 1 double crochet into that second one and then move across to this chain space and again place 2 treble crochets, chain 3 and then 2 more treble crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. Skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch along and then move into my next chain space, and again just repeat that. So 2 treble crochets, a chain 3 and 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. Skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, move across to my next chain space and place 2 treble crochets, chain 3 and 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. Again, skip a stitch, move into my next stitch along, place a double crochet and then move into my next chain space and place 2 treble crochets, 1, 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and 2 more treble crochets, 1 and 2. So then what we want to do is we're just going to slip stitch it to that very first double crochet that we did of round 5. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through and then just pull through just to close that round off, and then you're going to chain 1. Into this next stitch here, we're going to move over into this next stitch. You're just going to place 1 double crochet, skip a stitch and then move directly into your chain space and you're going to place a double crochet, chain 3, another double crochet in that chain space, chain 5, double crochet into that chain space, chain 3 and go back into your chain space and place your last double crochet, and that's how we make the edge of our snowflake. So then what you want to do is skip this first stitch here, move into this second stitch and place a double crochet, a double crochet into the next stitch and a double crochet into the next stitch. Skip this stitch and work directly into your chain. So then we're going to place double crochet, chain 3, another double crochet into that chain space, chain 5, 3, 4, 5, double crochet back into that chain space, chain 3 and then go back into that chain space and place your last double crochet. Skip this first stitch, which sometimes can be a little bit hard to see, so you have to, if you pull your little edge around, you can see it's just this one here, and you're working into the second one and you're going to place a double crochet into that stitch and a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Skip this last stitch here, leave that empty, and then we're just going to place that set of stitches again. So we're going to move into our chain space and place a double crochet, chain 3, work back into our chain space, placing another double crochet, chain 5, 2, 3, 4 and 5, work back into this chain space and place another double crochet, chain 3, 2 and 3, and then place our last double crochet into that chain space that we made in row 5. Skip this first stitch here, move into the second stitch, and we're going to place 1 double crochet, into that stitch and 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Skip this last stitch and then place a double crochet, chain 3, and then place the double crochet into the chain space, chain 5, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then place another double crochet into that chain space, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then place your last double crochet into that chain space. Skip that first stitch and 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then skip a stitch and move directly into your chain stitch, place a double crochet, chain 3, back into your chain space, place a double crochet, chain 5, double crochet back into your chain space, chain 3, and double crochet back into that chain space. So we're on our last one, we've just got one more to work, and we're going to skip this first stitch as we've done with all the others and work into this second stitch here and place a double crochet into there and 1 into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then move across into our chain space here, place a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet back into the chain space, chain 5, double crochet back into the chain space, chain 3, 2 and 3, and double crochet back into the chain space. Skip this very first stitch here and work into the second stitch here and just place 1 double crochet, and then you need to just slip stitch it to the very first stitch of the round to close it. So if you was using these as a coaster, you would leave that there, that would be done, and we would just chain 1, tie it off and secure it. But I'm using mine for Christmas hangers, so for my tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then once you've got your chain 20, all you want to do is slip stitch it back into the very first stitch where you've just joined and pull through, and then just chain 1, cut your yarn, leaving enough of a loose end to tie those, weave those loose ends in, pull up on that chain 1 and pull firmly on your loose end just to secure that knot. And then all that's left to do is to just weave in those loose ends, and there you have it. A really, really quick, simple but beautiful snowflake. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I think it's a really good, quick project. You can make in minutes, and they're really fun and they look beautiful when they're on your tree. So have fun making them. Please don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, come and follow us on Facebook, join in with the fun over there. It would be brilliant to see you all, and have a great week. Happy hooking, and we'll see you next week with another free pattern. Bye!